Welcome everyone, and my name is Mike Wilson with Andesite Blue. We're bringing you today another episode of Business and Opportunities in Ukraine. So this evening I'm going to be talking about something that actually is very important to the culture of a company, and as a business owner, is something that you need to really think about. So before we get there, I just want to give you some updates on what's going on in my life. As you knew, I broke my leg a couple months ago, and I'm walking again, which is really nice. But this that you see right here, well, this is something for Christmas. I'm just growing this out this month, and on New Year's Eve, I am going to trim it back to my normal length. So many people have commented on it, and they even said they really like it. I mean, it looks good, but I don't like the way it feels on my face, so I'm looking forward to, in a few weeks, trimming that down. Anyway, the holiday seasons are coming up. It's very interesting to go to the mall and to look around and just see kind of the atmosphere of people in general. And there's a lot of children. They're excited and their eyes are big. They're looking in the windows. They see the toys. They see the little glamour things, and something that's exciting. And I know my daughter. She'll turn 4 in January. And it's colorful things that get her really excited, like the candy store with all the gummy bears and the different colored candies there. And then we go by another cosmetic store, and they have a little children's section there for children's cosmetics. And she just beelines zoom right to it, And so there's just a lot of excitement in her. And this time of year with the lights, the Christmas lights, we decorated our tree. My lights burned out from last year, so I had to get some new ones. But I like the new strands, and they really are bright and brilliant. And so we put that on the tree, and we finished decorating that. So it's a real exciting season. Winter can be pretty dark, pretty cold. There's no outdoor activity other than skiing or ice skating, which is fun, by the way. But I can't do either one of those right now because I just recovered from my broken leg. So I hope that I can do it soon, though. I do want to take advantage. Contractova right now has the decoration up, and their ice skating rink kind of goes all over the park there, and it's really cool. There's a lot more ice skating rinks up this year too. River Mall has them up. I know Blockbuster had it last year. Had a really beautiful large ice skating rink outside. And it's really fun on the outdoor skating rinks. It gives you that real atmosphere of winter with the snow around, and everyone's bundled up with their hats and their scarves and mittens on and skating. And it's just a free time just to get on the blades and skate around. Some people are really good. Some people are beginners. I hope to this year, if my leg is strong enough, to be able to teach my daughter. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of years now, but I broke my leg last year, couldn't do it. Broke it again this year, and I'm struggling on that. But she wants to skate, and I want to teach her, so we'll see if we can get that done. But there's another thing that I just noticed in the mall as well. A lot of frowns. You remember what I talked about before about the smile and how it lifts the strings of your heart up? And I see a lot of frowns. They're out there shopping, and just kind of an unhappiness. Now the children, they're excited. I mean, that's the joy we really need to look at is our children. There's such a purity in it. There's no pretense or falsehood in it. It's just pure joy. They're just expressing their emotion, and we tend to forget that. We tend to forget what it's like, and to be like that. To let the little things be exciting, to let the little things lift our spirit up, so that we can share joy. Now, as adults, we have a bit more responsibility. Not everything is joyful. Not everything is happy at work. Sometimes it is, but in a lot of cases, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of strife. There's a lot of things that we have to take care of. There's responsibilities, and sometimes things don't go smoothly. And it tends to, weigh down on us. And if we pay attention to that, we can actually still control our mood, because our mood can really get us through a lot of difficult times or stresses or challenges, or even in relationships and things that really don't make things happy all the time. But we can make that choice inside. And as an adult, when we smile, and people around us, they see us, they tend to smile too, so we can have an impact. We can, like a child does. When I look at children laughing and smiling, inside I smile and I immediately either giggle or just have put a big smile on my face watching it. So if they have that impact on me, just think what it's like when an adult smiles at you, or or is just pleased to see you, or just pleased in their own environment, and it's just something uplifting about it. So I bring that up because it's going to segue into my topic. My topic this evening is happiness and work culture. Now, again, I've been talking to entrepreneurs, I've been talking to business owners, I've been talking to people who want to start a business, and of people who've already been running their business. This topic actually has been inspired by one of my students, my English students that I'm teaching. He's a CEO and partner of one of the largest concrete companies in Ukraine. So that was his question. What is the difference of happy people in Ukraine and happy people in America? Now, America is not the happiest country in the world. But one thing it's the most sought after country in the world. It's the country that everybody wants to go to. The reason why is because of opportunity. And opportunity does bring happiness. When you have that ability to make your life, when you have that ability to make your own decisions, when you have that ability to control your lifestyle, that does bring happiness. And so America may not be rated, when you look at the happiness index, the World Happiness Index, and you look at, they say Finland's number one, and they go, you go down through the, I believe the Netherlands was up there, and you look at these other countries, there's reasons that they have categories in there that makes them the people one of the happiest people. Now, I know Finnish, I know Netherlands, I know our Dutch people. I have friends all over the world, and Finland and Norway and all of those northern countries, it's dark in the winter, it's cold in the winter, and it's gloomy or gray, and even in the summer, it can be, the sun's out longer, sometimes too long, but in the summer, but it doesn't provide the real warmth, the vitamin D that we like to absorb when we're out in the sun. People travel south for that. We could look at Alaska. Alaska is equal to Finland, in the latitude of the globe. And you get northern Alaska where the sun never sets at night in the summer, and never comes up in the day in the winter. It's the same as Finland. And Alaska is not the happiest state in the United States. Some of the happiest states would be Florida, Arizona is a very popular state, Texas, California. California is the most populated state in the Union. The thing about California, as beautiful as it is, with the beautiful oceans, the most magnificent places to see, is in California, is the politics. And the politics is driving a lot of people out with their regulations, their taxations, just like New York. A lot of people are abandoning these cities and these states because the politicians have basically got their fingers in there and has taken away the happiness. So let's talk about that, though, how it can affect you. What does it mean? What does happiness mean? Now, you as a business owner, you could be doing well. You could have a successful business. You could be happy. You got money coming in. You're everything's working right. If you're a manufacturer or a plant or a retail store, whatever it is, everything's rolling. A restaurant, it doesn't matter. Everything's just rolling fine, and you got some good clientele, repeat customers. And everything's looking good, and so you've got a level of happiness inside of you because of success. You are the owner, and the company is successful because of you. Now, it's not solely because of you, and this is the thing that you need to take a look at closer. Many of you have looked at this, and many of you are doing very well, and you have very satisfied employees, and that's really the key. Is now, not every employee is going to be satisfied, so we can't go there. We cannot please everybody. That's just impossible. So this is not about pleasing. Okay. This is a culture. What is the culture of what you're producing and what you're providing? Opportunities for your employees. When your employees are happy and satisfied and they come to the Christmas ball or the Christmas parties, and that you provide for them as special events that you provide for them, and they come out and they're all having a good time, and everybody has got camaraderie with one another. The co-workers work well together. They have good communication. They have a good off time together. That's a good sign that you have built a significant company that people are pleased to work with you and pleased to be with you. Because without them, you couldn't really be successful either. So it takes the team to work together to be able to make a company successful. And you, as the owner, are the brand. You are the culture. You are the one that sets the stage. Now, this actually took place, in the late 70s and the early 80s in America. They started looking at this. Big companies started looking at AT&T as one of the companies that I worked for, and they started looking at the customer service, having happy clients, and they started looking at their employees too, knowing that their employees was a factor also helping them to be successful. It's not just the clientele; it's how the clientele are taken care of. And so AT&T was one of the forerunners. They weren't the first, but one of the forerunners in workplace culture, and having an environment that is desirable to work in. And when you wake up in the morning, the test. Monday morning. Let's pick Monday morning, okay? Notoriously the worst morning in all the week, Monday morning. And why is that? Well, because Friday night you had a good time, you were excited, you're off from work, you're excited, you might go out, you might do some dancing, you might go out to dinner, get together with some friends, or is it just family? Either way, you don't have the stress of waking up the next day. You might have some plans for the Saturday to take your family out, or to go meet up with some friends, or go do some things, or if it's summer, go out to the beach, go swimming, go hiking. A lot of things that can be done. Outside during the summer, even the winter. You got could be shopping, can be going exploring the lights. Looking at different things. Drinking Lithuanian, nice hot Lithuanian, which is really nice. But that's Saturday, and then you got Sunday, and Sunday is kind of like the day that you really didn't plan much. You just kind of be more relaxed, and just kind of kick back and sleep in a little bit, maybe get some chores done around the house, and get ready for the week and relax. Then Monday comes, and it's like, oh, okay, we got work again. We got to work today. The thing about Monday with a lot of companies is, if they're a service company, is that on the weekend everything's closed and people's services need to be rendered because things are breaking or things need to be taken care of or service, whatever it is that happens. And then on Monday morning, it's just a big rush to get everything fixed. And so you got a lot more workload on Monday morning. You got a lot more issues to deal with. You got a lot more clientele calling you or at your door, trying to get things done. And so it's an expected time of trying to recover from the weekend. So it does kind of bring a mood that isn't always pleasant. Excuse me. So Monday morning is the challenge. Well, Monday mornings were actually the Monday mornings that I liked. Yes, I did have a lot of extra work. I was a contractor, I was a builder. I was a landscape contractor, and then we started getting into some home building. But mainly our staple was the landscape contracting. Our bread and butter, the one that we really, really liked, was when we built massive ponds for our clientele. And these were natural, naturally ecosystem ponds. We didn't use chemicals or anything in there. We used nature to be able to keep them balanced and clean. We loved doing that. And yeah, we had a lot of things to do from the weekend that our clients were calling us to do. We had to go take care of or fix or adjust or repair or something like that. And so Monday morning was typically a service call for me, while my boys and the team was out working on new construction. I was out cleaning up a lot of these things that happened over the weekend that need to be repaired. But I determined that I wasn't going to let Monday be the bad boy of the week. And I had a lot of work to do on Monday, but I just put my head down and I decided in the morning, when I dropped my younger boys off to school, that it's all about attitude. It's all about the joy that I carry, and and I was able to take care of all of the responsibilities and take care of everything, and take on new customers and new clients on Monday. By the end of the Monday afternoon or the evening when I was done and I got home, there was a huge satisfaction inside of my soul. I was like, yes, we nailed it, and it set the stage for the rest of the week. The rest of the week was just smooth sailing, and so I looked at Monday as my chance to be joyful, happy, and extend that out to our clients. And that's in the business that I had in America. Well, here it's going to be a little bit different because I'm opening up the saloon, and again, now that's going to be 24 hours. So it's not going to really be a Sunday, a Monday rush. Monday's going to be the quiet for any restaurant and saloon. It's usually the quiet period. We want to be able to stimulate people coming in on Monday, even though the weekend's over, so that we kind of carry on through the week, and we have kind of a stable customer flow and service, that brings in revenue, and then also brings in employment, for the saloon and for people who will be working for us. So, Monday will have a different meaning altogether on that, because we know it's the slowest time. So I'll have incentives, I'll put something out there. But again, it's all about me. As the owner, I have to look at what kind of culture am I going to produce in the saloon. How are my employees going to feel about working there? Do they want to work there? Is there incentive for them to work there? Is there a joyful place of working, or is it just a hard-nosed, get this done, go do this, get this, I want this over here, I got this has to be over here, why did you do that way, that's not the way it's supposed to be done, you need to be doing it this way, I told you this 2 times before or 3 times before, why aren't you doing it? I need to look at the culture that I put in there, that people want to work, and when people want to work in a place, and they take on the responsibilities of doing things the way you've outlined them to be done. And so now we have to look at the top and all the way down to the bottom. So we know that the percentage decreases as it goes down. So you have the top, and let's say you've got all the energy, you've got all the enthusiasm and inspiration to give out to everybody and your workplace. Now I'm talking about a saloon, but it could be anything. It could be a complete labor construction. I mean, look at the high rises that are going up around here. It could be a development corporation, a very large one that they have many, thousands of employees, and they have several projects going up of these building these high rises. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's labor work, whether it's office work, whether it's IT work, whether it is service work. Okay, we still look at the top. Now the top is the one that sets the stage. Now, what's important is that the top also makes sure that he has immediate staff, or his closest staff, which would be his senior members or a management team, that they also carry on the spirit or the culture that you have provided for your company. Because what you have, they're going to step down a notch, and they're going to have maybe 70% of what you have. Maybe 50% of what you have. Maybe if you're lucky, you can get 80% of what you have to get some really enthusiastic management. But you have to train them, you have to work with them, because the mindset of management is, I'm the boss and you do this and you do this, and and that can get lost. And you have to as the owner, have to be patient, and you have to be able to work, to be able to mold, and to be able to influence those people working directly under you, to be able to carry your message to even lower down into the staff, to those that are working all the way to the cleaner, to the house cleaner, the one who makes sure that the floors are clean and make sure that any broken glass is picked up, and whether it's a man or a woman, doesn't matter, that the cleaning staff, we tend to look at that as the lowest position, and it's usually the least paid position, but you could still make incentive for them as well, and so that they enjoy doing what they do. They a lot of times you'll see, and not just in Ukraine, you see this all over the world, that the cleaning staff is usually like retired people. They already have kind of a pension, and we know that pensions aren't very big in most cases, And so this is just extra income for them. But don't treat them like that. You still treat them with absolute respect because you need them. They're part of keeping your establishment clean. Whether you're in an office of a sales office, okay, and a service office, and it's just desks and computers, and it's just you're all surrounded by desks, computers, and the whole office. It still has to be clean. It still needs to be maintained. You still have kind of a kitchen in there where people can take their breaks and have their coffee and maybe have their snacks or have their lunch and things like that. So you're providing, again, an atmosphere, and the cleaning staff is vitally important to the culture that you're producing. Because if the place is clean, people feel good about their workspace. They feel good about their job, and they feel comfortable being there, and it's not cluttered, and it's, the kitchen is clean and wiped down, and the floors are swept and mopped, and and everything is just in order, and it gives you a very good feeling. So again, this is all it starts from you as the head, that you pass down the message, that you put the outline for your management team. You teach them how to follow those outlines. You teach them how to lead by example. If I'm just going to sit back and I'm just going to say, you do this, you do that, and you go over here and do that, and you go over there, when I have the ability to do it as well, but I'm just a dictator in this thing, you're going to have a lot of grumpy, discontented employees. I'll give you a short example. When I was in Mykolaiv training the military down there at the Morsky Piechota, I came in as the instructor, and I had officers and enlisted men that were in my class, my students. Now, I always give the officers their respect in front of their subordinates, which is important. They need to know that. But I also made sure that I treated them equally, especially when it came to the training process. The first week was what we call snapping in, and the second week was live fire, and then the last day was qual, or qualification day. I used the United States Marine Manual in order to train these exactly the way I was trained, so it was a 2-week course. In the first week, I started them out with the physical fitness, and we were out there, exercising. Now, I didn't stand there and say, okay, you lead the physical fitness, and then you do the running, you do the exercise, you do all that. No, I did everything with them. I was the one up the front. I was out shouting the commands, and I was down on my hands and knees, or I was on my hands doing push-ups. I was doing the sit-ups, whatever it was that we were doing, I was doing it with them. When we snapped in, I physically showed them how to do it. I showed them the benefits and why I was using the positions that I was using. Then I made them do it. And if I had a student that just wasn't quite getting it right, I sat down with them. I sat in front of them in the grass. I put their feet where they needed to be. I put their knees where they needed. Whatever it was in the positions, because I was teaching them marksmanship. So whatever it was that they needed to do, I was doing it, and I was showing them. And then when we got into the live fire, we didn't have the mechanical targets mechanisms that we do in America. We had targets that only at 100 meters. We had targets, and then we had to run down and mark our targets, tape them, and mark them on a piece of paper and run back. Now the guys wanted to walk down there, but I wouldn't let them. I said, no, we don't walk, and I don't have time for this. So I ran down there. Now they were young bucks. I mean, I'm at the time, oh geez, how old was I? I was in my 50s, okay? So I was running down there, and they were racing me down there to beat me, to get down there ahead of me. And then I ran back, and so we never walked. I never let anybody walk, especially at 100 meters, because that would just take too much time. And I needed to get everybody through the system. I needed to get them all trained. I needed to get them all dialed in. I had to get their dope set properly on their weapons and everything, and we couldn't waste time walking. But I ran every time. I was running. I had 4, so I had broken them up into 4 teams because we only had so many positions that we could shoot from, and so they were running just their targets. I was running the 4 teams' targets, so I was doing quadruple the running that they were, just to get everything marked and stuff, and then came back. It was a good exercise also because you're kind of huffing and puffing, and now you're firing while your heart rate is up, you're breathing a little bit harder and stuff like that, and you're having to shoot your target, and you're having to be still. So it was actually a good training for them as well, because when you're in battle, adrenaline's going, your heart rate's high, and you are breathing hard, and you still have to fire through all that. So it actually was a double benefit. But the men came to me and they says, we've never seen a commander or anybody, an officer, that did what you did and worked with us side by side like that. And I tell you, I had all of their respect the whole time. And I shared that with you because do the same in your company. Get your hands dirty. Do the things that you've asked other people to do. Show them how to do it. Say, hey, this is the way I did it when I first started, and stuff like that, and it worked really well. I tell you what, you're going to get an amazing respect, and they're going to really, really honor you on that. And they're going to want to please you in that mode to do the job well, to do and to get it done right, and to have good quality of their work. And again, I mean, there's a wide spectrum of jobs that are out there, but you know what your company is. You designed your company. It's time for you now to get your hands dirty and show. My company in America was a very heavy labor job. It was construction, and I mean, you were hauling concrete bags, sand bags, boulders, wheelbarrows. You were shoveling, you were clearing out, you were cleaning out trenches, you were laying cable, you were doing all kinds of stuff, and these items were not light. Most people don't like heavy labor jobs. That's why they tend to go for the more easier sit-down job. I personally, as an athlete all my life, as a bodybuilder in my younger years, that was my gym. I loved it. I didn't always get the chance to work with my sons and work with my team because I had to set up the appointments, get the contracts. I had to make sure the contracts kept coming in so I provided work for all of my employees. But when I had time to do it, I tell you, I loved it. I'd spend 2-3 hours a day working with them, and I was shoveling. I was hauling sod. I was throwing 100-pound bags over, 50-kilogram bags over my shoulder, and sometimes two, just to save time and get wheelbarrowing. And we had the heavy-duty wheelbarrows that we could literally handle, 150 kilograms in a wheelbarrow, and haul that out there and stuff. I've had my wheelbarrow fall into a hole, and I went poof, flying over the end of it, very uncomfortable. And rolling out the other side, and of course everybody's kind of looking at me, and then when they see that I'm not hurt, then they all start laughing, but I liked it because it was my gym. I like physical activities, and I like working with my hands. So it keeps my hands strong, it keeps my body strong, so it keeps me young, and I enjoy it. I don't want to sit behind a desk. So when I open the saloon, I'll be behind the bar as well. Matter of fact, I'm not a bartender, but I'm going to hire bartenders who know exactly what they're doing, and I'm going to watch them, and I'm going to say, hey, show me, how did you do that? I'm going to let them teach me, because what makes them feel proud about their skill, to be able to show the owner of an establishment, yeah, this is the way I do it, and they're sitting there shaking it up, they pour this much, that there, blah, 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 how they're doing it, and I'm showing with enthusiasm, watching them, and then patting them on the back, says, that's outstanding, thank you very much, and it's I'm creating that culture of enjoyment. I'm giving them the feeling of pride and pleasure of what they do, that their talent is valuable to me, and without them we would not succeed. And so that's the culture. And I learned that, being a father of so many children, and having come to, I learned through the stages. When I was young, I was a horrible leader, because I thought it was just this, do this, do that, I got no respect, and nobody listened to me, and I couldn't figure out why. I had more rank than they did, but they weren't listening to me, so I had to go to a higher rank and say, they're not listening to me, and then of course my higher rank's chewing me out, but then they step in and they make them, and all of a sudden everybody snaps to attention, and they're doing everything they're supposed to do, and I go, damn, why can't I do that? But it's all in the mentality, it's all in the head, it's all right here, it's the head and the heart, and that's what makes a difference between a dictator that nobody loves and a leader that everybody loves. And when you set a culture in your own company, and you are willing to get your fingers dirty with what your guys are doing, and you're willing to learn some things that you don't necessarily know in your own company that they can help you with and to give you understanding. You make them feel valued and important. That, and it just reminds me of another an angle, should I say. People will be happier with promotion more than they are salary. I'm not discounting salary. Salary is important, and getting the raises are important. But if you gave raises only, without really other incentives or without a promotion or without recognition or acknowledgments, people are just going to feel used, and there's not much value in there. Again, I'm not discounting that everybody needs, they need to be raised up and their salaries need to reflect what they're doing. But when you give recognition to people, when you admonish them and you encourage them and you are there and say, wow, and you're thanking them for what they're doing and for their talents, and you recognize their talents and you bring it up. Some companies have employee of the month. Some people have different categories of employees, like top salesman, top engineer, top this, whatever, and they rotate those names. You see different names going up each month and stuff like that. And they get a special parking place, and those were designed to inspire, because okay, he was number one this time, but what made him number one that you couldn't personally do? Why couldn't you be number one? And so it became something, incentive for you to say, well, you know what, I want to be number one. I want to strive for this, and get in there and do that. So you, so now you're working a little bit differently to get the recognition. Usually they have bonuses at the end of the year, and you can give, cash bonuses are an excellent way on Christmas parties, and getting these envelopes. And they have cash incentive or cash bonuses in there that based on how the company performed over the year. Cash bonuses aren't the same every year, but everybody knows and anticipates that something's going to happen because you start doing this. And sometimes the employee of the month who had it, let's say 3 or 4 times out of the year, and he became employee of the year, gets a better cash bonus. That's an incentive, I'm going to tell you. If he gets $1,000 cash more than I did on my bonus, I'm thinking, you know what, I'm going to be working harder the next year. I like my job, I like this company, and I'm going to put my efforts in to also do the little extras to make the employee of the month. Those are fun incentives. And now, see, you're creating a culture, you're creating an atmosphere within your company that people like to work together with. They look forward to waking up in the morning and going to work. And that there's nothing more satisfying as an owner, as a leader, to see your employees happy. And happiness comes from opportunity. If there's a heavy cloud in there and people are working just because they have to work to pay the bills, and they know that they can't quit their job to go find another one because they're living month to month, they're living paycheck to paycheck, that every bit of their paycheck is going out every month to pay for food, to pay their rent, to pay their utilities, and they really don't have even enough extra to go out and enjoy themselves with their friends. They might save up a little, and they can do that once a month, maybe twice a month. They can do a little, splurge a little on that. That culture is black, dark, and depressive, and the work performance is very low. It's minimal. And you're not really inspiring anybody to want to work harder or to do better. People don't need to work like a slave, but when you're motivated, your production is higher. When you're inspired, when you are happy, you perform better in your job. If you're in sales, I tell you, happiness is key to sales. You have to be happy. You have to have a good, positive attitude to be in sales. Not everybody can be in sales because it takes a certain type of mentality and a certain type of character to be able to take the rejections of no's to be able to get the yes. to be able to work contracts and to put them together, to cold call. That's some of the hardest things to do. I've done that many times. Some of the hardest things to do is to cold call. To be so convinced of your own product that you're selling that everybody needs to have it, or at least a category of people need to have it. And you're determined to make sure that they get it. That's a special kind of person. But you don't have room to be gloomy. You don't have room to be down. You don't have room to be depressed. If your girlfriend broke up with you, if you just got out of a divorce, you don't have room to wallow in that and to look down upon yourself. You have to clear that up, and your own attitude, and you have to have that your own happiness going on inside of you, despite the pain that you're going through. And there's ways to do that. Doesn't mean you're not hurting inside, but you can't allow that to affect your performance. And so, as salespeople, they have learned in the morning to wake up and to deal with their emotions and to build themselves up for a great day. The incentive of salespeople is that they can get to control their own income. They could get to control their own lifestyle, because usually salespeople are based on performance, or based on sales, or based on money coming in, and so they most the times they get a commission. If a salesperson is like retail, for example, at a retail store, if they're just there at a cosmetic store, actually I don't know, cosmetic stores might have some incentives on some of their products and stuff, but I mean, if they're just there in a clothing store and they're just selling clothes and stuff like that, well, then you're just going to get out of them work, and whether they have a good attitude or bad attitude, just don't get paid the same. So that sells. That's just sells a little different. There's still ways to incentivize your sales force, even on the retail side, so that they are happy to show up to work. They're happy to keep the store clean, and they're happy to work with the customers and to make additional sales, and creating more purchases from your clients or customers that walk in. So incentive needs to follow that. But on a commission-based salesperson, whether it's IT services, equipment, contracts, concrete, construction, you name it, cars, it doesn't matter. That type of sales, those are commission-based, and having a bad attitude is going to ruin your day. It can ruin your month too, because it can ruin your paycheck. And so you learn to overcome those things. Now, that's on an individual level of, for sales, or as a salesperson. But you have to think of it the same way as an entrepreneur and an owner of your own company, that your company survives on sales. I mean, if it's a service company, it still sells. You have to sell your service. If it's a retail clothing store, it still sales. If it's a restaurant, it sells. If it's IT, it still sells. What are you going to IT if you haven't sold your ability to fix something, or to produce something, or to market something? It's all money coming in is based on somebody getting that contract and sales. So, as the owner, you have to realize that culture is going to impact the bottom dollar, or as we say, the bottom line. It's going to impact the revenues and the income that's coming into your company. And you want employees that are motivated, that are happy to be there, to have a smile on their face. When you walk through there and everybody's smiling and waving at you, hey, Mr. So-and-so, and you wave back and you call them out by name and say, hey, appreciate what you're doing. I saw the report last night, and fantastic work. Thanks very much. Because you wouldn't be where you were if you didn't have the team that you had, and so culture and happiness go hand in hand. And you create that environment. Sometimes when you, on a personal life, when I have things not going well on my own personal life, sometimes the escape is work, and it helps clear my mind, and it changes my mood, and it changes my motivation. And it allows me, when I'm done with the day or done with the work, it kind of adjusts me to be able to approach my own personal stuff in a better way. So even if I have personal situations that are not good, at least I have a place to escape, and work is there. If as an employer, if you are providing such a workforce in your own company and create that community that people really enjoy showing up in the morning, Monday morning, because Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those are the easy days compared to Monday, right? And they're looking forward to going to work on Monday morning. You've succeeded. That's success to me. Yes, you could already have good revenue coming in. You could already have a good income. You could already have a good house, a nice family, nice cars. You could already have that. But real satisfaction is when you know the people that are relying on you for their income and for their lifestyle, and they're happy about it. To me, that is success, because that's joy to me. I'm not happy until I see the people that are enjoying their working, the people want to work for me, that I have a list of people saying, hey, with their resumes, wanting to work for me because they heard that their friends or that they've heard the report that this is a great place to work for. That's success to me. Because I know then, now that my clientele and my customers, they're going to be taken care of and they're going to be happy automatically, because I can't touch every customer. I can't touch every client. I have to trust. I have to trust the team to do it. I have to trust my subordinates as my employees to do that. I have to trust my managers to be able to interject and to project my attitude and my culture onto the employees, so that it gets out there and it becomes infectious, and that everybody has that buzz. And in the Bible it says love begets love, hatred begets hatred. Beget means birth, or give birth to. So love begets love. So love produces more love. Hatred begets hatred. Hatred produces more hatred. If your culture is enthusiasm, encouragement, inspiration, and admonishments, that's going to beget that, and it's going to go down to your management, and your management's going to go down into your employees. Everybody's going to feel that joy of being there. They're going to be happy working there, and their lives and their personal lives will be happy too, because there's nothing more satisfying than having a job well done when you go home, and just having that, you can relax, you can go to sleep without burdens, and that is it's just such a pleasure on that. And so you, as a owner, as a business owner of a corporation, an LLC, individual, and you have maybe 1 or 2 employees, to 20 employees, to 200 employees, to 2,000 employees, it doesn't matter. I'm doing some corporate English teaching for some companies, and I'm actually very impressed with both of them. And they've been around for a long time. Now, one company's been around for 10 years, the other company's been around for over 100 years. The one that's been around for over 100 years has, I don't know, I can't even say, maybe 100,000 worldwide, 200,000 employees worldwide. I don't know, I can't tell you. I know in Ukraine, they have tens of thousands of employees in just Ukraine. So again, it's a worldwide company. And I really appreciated the culture that they produced in there, because everybody has this really good working atmosphere, and they work well together. And the company's been around a long time, and they picked up the thing that I told you about AT&T. This company grew and picked it up and went with it and learned how to create a culture that is an atmosphere that people enjoy coming to work with. And so same thing with the other company, smaller one, but they still have nearly 100 employees. And there's just that culture. You can just feel it when you walk in and you're talking to the different individuals, and you can just see, just by their own personality and their own willingness to help you and their own willingness to be part of the team. And they're doing a little thing with Christmas. They put the string up there, and with clothespins, and they put these old photos so everybody's supposed to bring a photo of themselves when they were like 2 years old, 3 years old, or something when they were young. And then the job is that you had to go through and list the name who you think it is. It was adorable. A lot of people brought things when it was Christmas, so they were dressed, we had Christmas background and different things, but it was just cute. Again, that's someone thinking about the culture of that company to make the environment enjoyable, fun. Birthdays are big. I saw balloons and things, and so I go there every week, twice a week actually, and I see flowers over here, I see flowers over there. It's his birthday, they share in that, and then they have cake, and I've gotten a few of the treats from the one of the birthdays, and it was very tasty. It was fun. Again, so that's a company that has been around for 10 years and has about 100 employees. I'm very impressed and this is in Ukraine. These are the one's international. This one is national in the sense that it services national. It's international that it works. The vendors and everything are all outside of Ukraine. And but they understood it. And they put it together. I hadn't even met the owner of the company. I met the owner's wife, but not the owner. And but I could tell by the people that this man is a man of integrity. This is a man that understands culture and the environment and how to be successful. Even during war and even during the COVID, he still got the team going, and everything is smooth, going well and smoothly, and very impressed. So. Anyway, I know we talked a lot about long on this topic today, and I'll go ahead and leave it at there. I don't want to give you all of my secrets, but I'm just happiness. You can really gauge a happiness on your employees and how they are doing within your company, and don't be afraid to see some that are not happy, and don't be afraid to approach them and sit down with them, or have your HR personnel just let them open up and tell the truth. Let the truth come in. It might be truth, it might not be truth. It's their truth. It doesn't mean you have to make changes. It's not the kind of truth we're talking about here. It's just figuring out what's they're doing and making it feel like you care about who they are, and you care about why they're unhappy, and what can you do to help and to adjust for them because you know that they'll be more productive if they are happy. And a big change will happen, and a big factor on that is that you reaching out to that individual is going to make a difference anyway. They're going to be impressed. Says, oh, now if you're already doing that, that's as we say, kudos to you. That is absolutely commendable. If you're not doing that, you can start. You can start now, and now's the time to do it. Now's the time to learn. If you're a young business owner, like I was, and I learned through this process, this information can definitely help you. If you're a seasoned business owner like myself now, and you've never really looked at that attitude of happiness in your own company, then I challenge you. I challenge you to try some things, to do something new, to do something different within your community and within your company, to see how that impacts your employees. And guarantee you, more revenue will come in if you have happy employees. And your customers will be absolutely satisfied, and you repeat business or whatever your job is or whatever your company is doing, the revenue stream will increase based on the index of happiness in your own company. So, thank you again this evening for joining me and watching this episode. Each week, now I promised that I'd have somebody available today. Circumstances didn't work out that way to where he could be with me, so we're going to talk about next week so I can have him on. I'm hoping David will join us next week. He said yes, and he lives here in Ukraine, in Kiev, so it's not a matter of him being out of the country. He's got some great ideas he's been throwing at me that I just absolutely love, and I respect, because I need people to help me, especially with the Kiev's Western Saloon, to be able to develop that. And so I look forward to having him on with me as a guest, and so hopefully next week. But I tell you, it's such a pleasure to really sit down and just share this with you. For me, it's just, I want to see your success. When you have in a city, you have multiple companies that are just thriving. It brings extra revenue to the city. It changes the whole atmosphere of the city, and and it just kind of it creates a culture in the city. That's the mayor's responsibility. And Klitschko's done some great things for the city, especially in the parks, making these parks are absolutely immaculate and beautiful now to walk through and enjoy. This year, the Christmas decorations are out. Last year and the year before, last year, they weren't really, there wasn't much. It was a real somber time. This year, the skating rinks are out, the Christmas lights are out, the decorations are out. I'm really pleased with that. It just helps us. We're not forgetting about the war. The war is ongoing. We are fighting. We are looking to get this thing ended. We are here for the long term for Ukraine to be free. That is our objective. That is our goal. That's what we want. But we need to have something for our boys who are dying on the front and getting wounded on the front and who are fighting on the front to come back to. And that is your inspiration and your joy and your love for them and your love and support for them. So again, it comes down to culture. So Ukraine has a beautiful culture. It's a fighting spirit. It's a very warm culture. It's a very giving culture. And so we're very thankful for all of that. So have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I will see you next week. And I'm not sure. I know Christmas is December 25th on Monday. So I should be able to come in on the 26th and see you then. So we probably won't have any breaks. I'll be able to see you each week. So anyway, take care of yourselves and enjoy this season. Enjoy the Christmas holiday seasons, and we'll just enjoy your children and enjoy your employees. Slava Ukraina!